If there is one thread running through these stories, it is that bitterness and complexity were once embraced rather than shunned. Dandelion's bitter greens signaled spring liver cleansing. Nettle's metallic tang delivered iron and minerals. Chicory's bite improved digestion and sharpened the mind. Mustard's heat woke up dishes still eaten raw. Our modern obsession with sweetness and uniform texture has stripped vegetables of many phytochemicals that make them both medicinal and flavorful. Reintroducing wild and semi-wild foods helps reintroduce those compounds into our diets, potentially aiding metabolism and gut health. There is also something profoundly satisfying about reclaiming the weeds underfoot. Harvesting a bowl of purslane from a sidewalk crack or foraging ground elder along a hedgerow connects us to the countless generations who saw abundance where we see nuisance. Cultivating sea kale or lupini beans on marginal land invites us to rethink what farmland can be. By welcoming these ancient flavors back onto our plates, we honor the ingenuity of past farmers and restore diversity to our gardens and guts. The next time you reach down to pull a weed, consider whether you might instead be picking dinner or medicine just as your ancestors did. Imagine stepping back 2,000 years and wandering through Roman villas, Persian orchards, and Celtic clearings. The weeds we spray today were the foundation of diets across continents. You would see kitchen slaves stripping nettle leaves, grandmothers grinding lamb's quarter seeds into bread, and merchants selling bunches of watercress dripping from the stream. These forgotten foods cultivated plants and resilient weeds delivered more flavor, nutrition, and toughness than almost anything in our supermarkets. Our ancestors coaxed delicacies from seaside shingle, turned bitter roots into coffee, and celebrated greens that now spring uninvited from sidewalk cracks. They bred for taste, resilience, and medicine, not shipping and shelf life. Number 1. Dandelion, the lion of the lawn. Long before suburban lawns became battlefields against yellow blooms, Romans cultivated the entire dandelion plant. They sautéed the tender leaves and roasted the taproot into a caffeine-free drink. Every part of this deep-rooted perennial offers something: leaves loaded with vitamins, flowers tasting of honey, and roots that aid digestion. The plant thrives on neglect, drawing minerals from deep below and heralding spring with its sunny heads. Today, we spray herbicides on the very plant that could deliver free greens and roasted roots. In a world of monocultures, the resilient dandelion remains a symbol of tenacity and a free salad bar. Number 2. Stinging nettle, a prickly powerhouse. A brush against nettle's tiny hairs brings a stinging reminder that this plant has defenses. Yet, once blanched or dried, nettle leaves become one of the richest sources of minerals and plant protein, easily sautéed like spinach or steeped into restorative teas. For millennia, nettles fed and healed people across continents. Their stems can be spun into strong fiber for ropes and cloth, and the seeds and roots have medicinal uses. Modern gardeners curse its sting, but miss the multivitamin growing at their doorstep, a plant that feeds, heals, and even supplies cordage if given a pair of gloves. Number 3. Lamb's quarters, the wild spinach. Also known as goosefoot, lamb's quarters was intentionally spread by humans long before wheat became dominant and was among the earliest crops in North America. The tender, powder-dusted leaves taste mild and contain more protein, vitamins, and minerals than most cultivated greens. In India, it's called bathwa and cooked into curries and flatbreads. In Europe, it thickened porridges and fed people in lean years. Romans and medieval farmers valued lamb's quarters for its long harvest season and tolerance of drought and neglect. Today, it volunteers in garden beds and sidewalk cracks. Yet, we pull it up instead of harvesting the superfood. Number 4. Chickweed winter's salad. When the dark months stole fresh vegetables from the medieval table, chickweed carpeted fields with tender green mats. Victorian cooks prized its mild flavor, tossing leaves and shoots into salads and sandwiches. Herbalists used poultices of chickweed for burns and brewed teas to ease coughs. Its mucilaginous quality thickens soups, while its high content of vitamin C, B vitamins, iron, and magnesium nourishes the body. Chickweed thrives in cool weather and disturbed soils, emerging in winter and early spring when little else grows. Yet, this generous plant, which freely offers fresh salad at times of scarcity, has been relegated to weed status in modern gardens. Number 5. Broadleaf plantain, the healer's footprint. Puritan settlers intentionally brought broadleaf plantain to the Americas for its medicinal virtues. Indigenous communities dubbed it white man's footprint as it sprang up wherever Europeans went. In cottage gardens and monasteries, the ribbed leaves were eaten like spinach and applied to bruises, insect bites, and foot injuries. Compounds such as allantoin and aucubin soothe inflammation and speed wound healing. Plantain seeds are rich in soluble fiber and form psyllium, the active ingredient in many modern laxatives. Because plantain grows between paving stones and along driveways, we treat it as a nuisance, overlooking a plant that offers salad greens, bandages, and digestive aid without any cultivation. Number 6. Purslane omega-3 on the sidewalk. Purslane creeps across dry soil like a living mulch. Archaeologists have found its seeds in Greek and Roman sites, and ancient texts describe it as a common vegetable more than 4 millennia ago. Today, it self-seeds in garden beds and emerges from cracks in the pavement. Its fleshy leaves are eaten throughout the Mediterranean, Middle East, and Asia. Purslane is one of the richest plant sources of omega-3 fatty acids, containing more ALA than many fish, and is high in vitamins A, C, and E. The tiny black seeds can be ground to thicken stews or baked into bread. It thrives on heat and drought, yet we uproot it while buying imported salad mix. Number 7. Sorrel, the tangy perennial. With arrow-shaped leaves and a lemony punch, sorrel was a mainstay of European kitchens for centuries. It flavored soups and sauces across Europe when citrus was scarce. Sorrel leaves contain oxalic acid, giving them a tartness that dissolves in sauces and brightens fish, eggs, and potatoes. This hardy perennial emerges in early spring and can be cut repeatedly throughout the growing season. Although sorrel persisted in gardens for hundreds of years, it vanished from mainstream agriculture when spinach and imported lemons became common. Reviving this tangy green could add natural acidity to our diets without shipping citrus around the globe. Number 8. Amaranth, sacred grain, and supergreen. Revered across continents, amaranth served multiple roles. In the Aztec Empire, it was mixed with honey for ceremonial sculptures, prompting Spanish conquistadors to ban its cultivation. In India, popped amaranth seeds make traditional candies. Species like pigweed offer leaves richer in iron and calcium than spinach, and seeds that are gluten-free and high in complete protein. Amaranth plants thrive in heat and poor soils and require minimal water, making them resilient in the face of climate change. Yet we uproot wild amaranth from our fields and pay premium prices for its seeds in health food stores, forgetting that our ancestors prized it as both sacred grain and nourishing green. Number 9. Orach mountain spinach of many colors. One of the first plants cultivated in Eurasia, orach predates the popularity of spinach by centuries. Unlike spinach, orach thrives in heat and alkaline soils and will not bolt at the first sign of summer. Leaves and stems are edible raw or cooked, offering a salty, earthy flavor that pairs well with eggs, potatoes, and stews. The seeds can be ground into flour or sprouted, and some cultures stored them as famine food. Though widely grown through the Middle Ages, orach was largely displaced when spinach was promoted in the 16th century. Bringing back this mountain spinach would give gardeners a heat-tolerant alternative. Number 10. Good King Henry, the poor man's asparagus. Named around the time of Henry VIII and eaten since Roman days, Good King Henry is a perennial vegetable that, provides multiple harvests. In early spring, it sends up fleshy shoots that resemble asparagus in flavor and preparation. Later, the leaves are eaten like spinach. This goosefoot relative thrives in partial shade, tolerates poor soils, and returns year after year. Once spinach and asparagus became widely cultivated, Good King Henry was dismissed as a weed. In an age seeking perennial vegetables, it deserves a royal comeback. As we pause halfway, remember that farmers observed which weeds thrived without watering and which plants indicated good soil. This practical wisdom informed their diets and can guide ours. Let's see what else our ancestors cultivated. Onward we go, guided by their lessons. Keep learning, keep tasting, enjoy lessons from ancient kitchens. After 10 extraordinary plants, it's worth pausing to consider how differently ancient cooks approached flavor and nutrition. They didn't just boil greens and call it dinner. Roman cookbooks describe elaborate sauces of herbs, vinegar, wine, and fermented fish that complemented bitter leaves and pungent roots. Fermentation and pickling were everyday techniques that transformed the shoots of Good King Henry into sour pickles and kept Lupini beans edible for months. Bitter was not a defect to be masked by sugar, but a cherished taste that signaled medicinal value. Texts from Pliny to Apicius show an appreciation for complex flavor combinations that balanced sour sorrel with rich meats or paired peppery mustard greens with honey. Preparing these plants often required patience hours of soaking to leach alkaloids from lupins or weeks of blanching sea kale shoots under pots. But that patience was repaid in reliable food supplies. In an age before refrigeration, the ability to turn wild plants into shelf-stable delicacies meant survival. Modern cooks can learn from this mindset. Treat your weeds with respect, celebrate strong flavors, and rediscover techniques like blanching, pickling, and fermenting that can turn overlooked plants into culinary treasures. Number 11. Watercress green medicine of rivers. Watercress has an illustrious history. Hippocrates is said to have established a medical school near a stream to grow it for patients, and Persian King Xerxes ordered his soldiers to eat watercress for strength. This aquatic member of the mustard family is among the most nutrient-dense foods on Earth, loaded with vitamins A, C, and K, minerals like iron and calcium, and cancer-fighting glucosinolates. Watercress thrives in cool running water and can be grown in tubs with aerated water. In Victorian England, watercress sandwiches were the fast food of the working class. Restoring watercress to our streams and gardens could provide free peppery greens while improving water quality. Number 12. Borage courage in a flower. Borage is easily recognized by its fuzzy leaves and star-shaped blue flowers. Ancient writers believed it brought joy and courage. The young leaves taste of cucumber and can be used in salads, soups, or sauces, while the flowers make dazzling garnishes for desserts and drinks. Borage self-seeds readily even in poor dry ground, and gardeners now plant it to attract bees, forgetting that it was once prized as both food and remedy. Number 13. Mugwort, the moon's herb. Mugwort, a hardy member of the Artemisia family, is often dismissed as an invasive weed, yet its cultural significance spans continents. Ancient Greeks used it to expel intestinal worms, regulate menstruation, and as an antiseptic. In folklore, it was worn for protection and stamina. The plant's aromatic leaves flavor meats and fish, and before hops were common, mugwort was part of the bitter herb blend used in brewing beer. In East Asia, it flavors rice cakes and soups and is used in traditional medicine. Mugwort spreads aggressively, but those vigorous roots also mean it survives where few other herbs will. With mindful management, we can welcome mugwort back as both culinary and medicinal ally. Number 14. Chicory the blue, roadside's gift. Chicory's sky blue flowers color highway edges each summer, but its uses are far older than our asphalt. Ancient Egyptians cultivated chicory as a medicinal plant. Vegetable and coffee substitute. The bitter leaves of wild chicory were eaten in spring salads to stimulate digestion, and the thick taproot was roasted and ground to extend or replace coffee. Chicory tolerates poor soils and extremes of heat and cold, loosening compacted earth with its taproot. Our ancestors appreciated its bitterness and resilience. Now we consider chicory an occasional salad addition, forgetting its versatility. Number 15. Wild mustard, mother of the brassicas. Wild mustard gave rise to a botanical dynasty. Humans have cultivated it for at least 5 millennia, selectively breeding its leaves, stems, and buds into cabbage, kale, broccoli, cauliflower, kohlrabi, and Brussels sprouts. The Romans flavored new wine by crushing mustard seeds in must, hence the name mustard, from mustrum, ardens or burning must. Every part of wild mustard is edible. Young leaves cooked as a spicy green, yellow flowers decorate salads, immature seed pods taste like miniature capers, and roots can be eaten like turnips. The seeds are a global spice. Wild mustard thrives on disturbed soil and blooms across fallow fields. By tasting it, we reconnect with the intense flavors that drove our ancestors to domesticate the brassicas. Number 16. Ramps, spring tonic of the woodlands. Ramps, or wild leeks, are native to eastern North America and among the first edible plants of spring. Indigenous peoples boiled or fried them, and Iroquois families seasoned the greens with salt and pepper after months of preserved food. Early settlers depended on them as a spring tonic and celebrated with gatherings that persist today in Appalachian festivals. Every part of the plant is edible. Bulbs pungent like garlic, leaves milder like scallions, and flowers delicately flavored. However, ramps grow slowly and reproduce mostly by seed. With rising popularity, sustainable harvesting, taking only a leaf per plant or cultivating them at home, is crucial to preserve this ancient woodland delicacy. Number 17. Ground elder, the Roman runaway. Ground elder, also called bishop's weed or goutweed, was introduced to Britain by the Romans and planted in herb gardens for both food and medicine. Its leaves were cooked like spinach or used in pottages, and it was valued for treating gout and sciatica. Ground elder spreads by creeping rhizomes and can quickly overtake beds, which is why gardeners loathe it. Yet this vigor was once appreciated. It filled hungry bellies in early spring when little else was available, and its white umbels attract beneficial insects. With regular harvesting and containment, ground elder could again serve as a self-renewing vegetable rather than a curse. Number 18. Alexander's celery's forgotten cousin. Alexander's, with a name linked to Alexander the Great, is a herbaceous plant with a myrrh-like scent. Greek writers and Pliny the Elder praised it, and Romans introduced it to Britain, where it naturalized along coasts and roadsides. All parts are edible: stems cooked like celery, leaves like parsley, roots like parsnips, and seeds ground as a spice. Herbalists valued Alexander's as a diuretic and appetite stimulant, and it thrived in disturbed soils and salty air, making it a staple before improved celery varieties displaced it. Today, it grows wild along cliffs and footpaths, unrecognized by most passers-by, despite offering an entire spice cabinet in one plant. Number 19. Sea kale, the salt-tolerant supergreen. Sea kale inhabits the gravel and shingle of coastal beaches, pushing up fleshy blue-green leaves and thick taproots. Early coastal peoples dug its roots and harvested leaves, and the Romans preserved sea kale in barrels to feed sailors on long voyages. Its vitamin C warded off scurvy. Sea kale is a perennial brassica with every part edible. Blanched stalks taste like hazelnut-sweet asparagus. Leaves cook like kale. Roots roast like parsnips, and flower buds resemble broccoli. It tolerates salt spray, drought, and nutrient-poor soils, thriving where little else will grow. As climate change makes fresh water scarce, this salt-loving supergreen deserves a comeback. Number 20. Lupini beans portable protein perfected. Lupini beans are the yellow seeds of several lupin species that have fed civilizations around the Mediterranean for thousands of years. Roman soldiers carried them as rations, cherishing their high protein and fiber content. Farmers across the Mediterranean, Egypt, and the Andes domesticated various lupin species for food. The beans contain bitter alkaloids that require soaking, boiling, and breening to leach away toxins. Once prepared, they become a chewy, savory snack enjoyed like edamame. The patience required to detoxify lupini kept them from competing with easier legumes, yet preserved them as a traditional treat sold at Italian festivals and bars. Today, they are being rediscovered as a plant-based protein. Across these 20 foods, a theme emerges. Bitterness and complexity were embraced rather than shunned. Dandelion's bitter greens signaled spring cleansing, nettle's metallic tang delivered minerals, and mustard's heat woke up dishes. Many of these plants required patience soaking lupini beans, blanching kale, or fermenting good King Henry. But that patience yielded reliable food. Ancient cooks balanced sour sorrel with rich meats and preserved wild plants through pickling and fermentation. Rediscovering wild and semi-wild foods restores lost compounds to our diets and connects us to generations who saw abundance where we see nuisance. Harvesting purslane from a sidewalk crack or foraging ground elder along a hedgerow reawakens a relationship with the land. Cultivating sea kale or lupini beans on marginal soil invites us to rethink what farmland can be. By welcoming these ancient flavors back onto our plates, we honor past ingenuity and restore diversity to our gardens and our guts. The next time you reach down to pull a weed, consider whether you might instead be picking dinner or medicine, just as your ancestors did.